Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we figure out how to build products and recover from burnout. I'm Benedikt.
And I'm Brian. Each week, we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we figure things out. Today is May 11th, and I am feeling inspired.
This is episode number 90, and I'm feeling scattered. Like everything scattered around the entire house.
Oh, right. Physically, all of your...
Physically, all like you can probably not see it. Maybe if I told my stuff is literally on the floor by now.
Just everywhere. Yes.
Yeah, like it's a mess. Like we have like a wall of boxes in our living room. Surprisingly empty boxes by now, because we're at the stage where we probably have more empty boxes than stuff to put in them. So we have a stash of like empty boxes in the living room.
Well, better to have more empties than to get towards the end of it. Yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there's still a bit more stuff to pack, but we're at the stage where we already started unpacking stuff in the new home and bringing boxes back. So
I was going to ask about how the overlap is going. How's that? How's it feeling? Moving things back and forth, or moving things over, and kind of living between two places.
Yeah. Well, I started working from the new place last week, at least on a day by day basis. Like I think I spent 2 days in the new place, basically setting up my new office there.
Nice.
And working from there, because I had like the stairs had to get fixed and stuff like that, where people coming over. So I basically went there and worked the day, like spent the day working from there, which was kind of nice. Like that worked well. And like next week will be reserved for like moving everything over, and then I think by Wednesday night we will be living in a new home.
Okay, so that's the plan, is to spend the night there for the first time, week and a day. Okay.
Yeah. A week from now, like we have the moving company will be there next Wednesday. So when people listen to this, I'll probably be moving at the very moment. And they will move our bed over, and we will set it up, and then it will be the first night in the new home.
Boom. All right. Yeah. It's happening.
One part of me is super sad, because as I said, like I still like this place.
Yeah,
and I still hasn't fully sunken in that we'll be moving, not be here anymore. But the other part of me is like, let's just get over with it.
Just get it done. Totally.
Get it done, and then just like have one thing less to worry about. That's the thing I'm looking forward to.
How is work stuff going right now? How are projects going that you're able to manage stuff? And
I have a hard time focusing on anything. Like I'm just like, my brain's just jumping between things, not necessarily productive things, neither on the work side nor on the moving side. Sometimes it's just like overwhelmed and just like surfing YouTube or whatever. I feel like I could just use a long break, to be honest, and not be doing anything.
Yeah. That's the ironic thing about that is when you have so many, several high priority, this has to happen things going, you can't help but think about them both at the same time, which just guarantees that you don't do either of them very well. And so then you're or at least for me anyway, I'm saying you, but I should just like person often like procrastination brain kicks in, and so then you do something completely unproductive.
Yes. That's a lot of what's happening around here these days. I have a hard time focusing on stuff. But I mean, my way around this is to basically not work on big things right now, but only
That's
like
smart.
do like the
Yeah.
small improvements,
Chip
like
away at little things. Huh.
yeah, stuff
Yeah.
stuff that can be done within an hour or so, and then
Mhm.
be fine thinking about something else. So there's still some progress, but the big projects like the new marketing automation features and stuff like
Yeah.
that, those are on the back burner, and
Yeah.
I don't
On
even
hold
try
for
to
now.
get to them because I feel like it doesn't even fit in my brain right now.
Yeah. Requires too much brain power.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what are the little things that you've been picking off?
yeah. So I think I mentioned this. Like we have this new theming thing where you can basically choose between different email templates with like
Mhm.
more styling or even less styling than what our default template has. And we rolled that out behind the feature flag a couple of weeks ago. And last week I finally finished. We have the small themes editor where you can basically create a theme, pick a template, and then customize the colors and the logo and the positioning of the logo and stuff like that in those
Mhm.
templates. And that editor is finally done and merged, so people can start using it. It's not
Mhm.
it's not perfect, but um, our new mantra is better done than perfect. So
Mhm.
we have something out there for that. And then also what I did last week, and we're a little bit too late with that, to be honest, but nobody complained. Like there are new visa requirements in terms of like the payment processor. Visa has like
Yeah.
some guidelines of what they need you to do when
Okay.
when you have trials and stuff like that. So you need like when they sign up, you have to be very explicit about when you charge them and how much you charge them and how long the trial is, and you have to send them reminders 7 days before the end of the trial, and I think 2 days before the
Okay.
end of the trial. Like there's a long list of requirements, and Stripe has an article on their website. So we've been tweaking our setup, and now our sign up flow is kind of horrible because like it starts
Yeah.
out pretty clean, and when you get to the billing thing, there's this huge block of text that's basically you
Yeah.
are signing up to this
Yeah.
for a 14, so and
Mhm.
so and so. Um, and it's also just the better done than perfect version because like maybe it's because my brain wasn't fully on it last week, but I had a hard time like previewing a subscription in a way. Like um, we know what plan people sign up for, so we know the price.
Right.
But then we also have coupons and stuff like that, and discounts when they like come from a certain landing page. And I have a hard time like
Okay.
just having a clean way to actually figure out how much are they going to pay and at what time. Like in theory, I know all the ingredients to this, but there's
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that Stripe has a nice endpoint for that, but I wasn't able to find anything. Basically,
Huh.
something where you send like this
Yeah.
is this is
Here
the
are the
plan,
variables. Yeah.
this is the trial duration, this is the coupon code that I want to apply. Just let me know how much they will be paying and what date they
And
will
when?
be paying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apparently this isn't a thing. Like
Hmm.
there's a subscription preview feature where they basically like allow you to do something like this, but like the way I understood it is that it only works for existing customers and only when updating subscriptions. So they already need to have a subscription in place before you can actually show them what their next
What
invoice
they're
will look like.
subscribing. Yeah. Hmm.
And that's kind of odd. Like I maybe
Yeah,
I
it's
overlooked
backwards.
something, but I guess especially with requirements like this would be useful to just have like a preview feature in Stripe.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Good luck. I mean, is the, do they does it appear like they kind of expect you to calculate it on their behalf and get it right? Like and then pass it
Yeah,
on? Like
maybe like
because you're wanting to show like a like a confirmation screen or a pre-submission confirmation screen for your customer. And
yeah,
you wanna be
something like
sure
that.
that
Yeah.
yeah, and you wanna be sure
Yeah.
that it's exactly right, and it would
Yeah.
be if you were getting it from Stripe as opposed
Yeah.
to you programmatically doing it on your side saying, "Hey, this is
Yeah.
what we're gonna yeah, yeah, yeah." Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would
And
think
like
that that would
I mean,
exist on their side.
there's this new Stripe checkout feature where basically you use their hosted checkout pages, and they
Yeah.
do all of that stuff
Yeah.
on those pages. So
There's got to
they have
be.
implemented it
Yeah.
somehow, but
Yep.
there doesn't seem to be an API endpoint where you can just like
Hmm.
send that information to and then get like a number and the date back or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I have a feeling I will revisit this down the road. But for last week, I was like, yeah, okay, let's
Nah.
just like put the plan name in there and then mention that we know that you put a discount code in that and it will be applied, but we're not technically telling you the exact amount that
Exact. Yeah.
you'll be paying, which in a way is impossible to tell them anyways, because when they import like a million users, of course, the price will be higher. So it's kind of weird anyway. So yeah, let's not obsess about this too much.
Well, I mean, billing, yay.
Yeah.
Super critical and rarely straightforward.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, but that's about it on the product side of things. We had a nice workshop earlier today. Basically, well, sort of. It's a collaborative webinar we did with Data Led Academy, I think is the name of the community.
Okay.
And we basically did a workshop or slash webinar about company data and
Cool.
a new company data feature. And it was kind of nice. There were a couple people showed up. Let's see if you get any customers
Mhm.
from this, but probably hard to tell. I guess it's mostly a one touch point of 7, 10, whatever that
Yeah.
they need
Yeah.
to actually sign up. But I guess one
At
more
least
than
you're
than they'd had before, and
well,
maybe
and hopefully
hopefully they just learned about user lists.
I was gonna
So
say, yeah, I was gonna say that exactly. Like, hopefully, just showing up on more people's radar. Just
yeah.
that just grows and grows and grows.
So we'll see how that goes in the long run. But yeah, that's about it. I'm inclined to say not much else happens, but I mean, there's as you can probably imagine, there's a
I
lot of
mean,
stuff happening these days.
yeah,
Just not
yes,
much work related stuff.
sure, totally.
What about you? I saw like you have a new Instagram account, or at
Oh,
least you shared
well,
an
yeah,
Instagram
no.
account with me with a lot of lovely pictures in them.
Yeah, yeah. No, so that's our my wife set up an Instagram account, Happy Trails Family. And so I'm not the greatest about posting photos and things like that. So if people first of all, if people are on Instagram, and if you want to follow Happy Trails Family, that's where you'll see you'll see more, frequent photos and updates of where we are and what we're doing and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so feel free to hop over there and say hello. So I mentioned last week that our first, test run maiden voyage was going to be, over the weekend, and it went really, really well. Um, I'm kind of amazed at how event free it was.
I guess that's
To
good.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So I mean the place we went was only like 40 miles, 40 minutes or so, from our place in Boulders and Lyons. Just this little campground that's, we'd been there plenty of times because there's a park there. We'd never been camping there, but we'd been there plenty of times. We knew exactly where it was, et cetera, et cetera. Just very low, not very many unknowns, but hooking up the trailer, driving it there, navigating, the world with the trailer. It all went amazing. All went great. I got it backed into the site on my first try, which was like borderline
Nice.
miracle.
This will
Didn't
never
take out
happen
a
again.
tree. It'll never happen again, ever. Yeah. No mailboxes were lost in the making of this trip. It was great. It was really, really great. And it gave us a chance to sort of, okay, hey, I need to buy this little adapter for the water hose. I need to I need to fix, the, youngest kids blinds because of blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that stuff we already knew, but it was just kind of it made it really easy to, sort of test run everything. Um, and it was just really nice because we've just been here at the house, just like go, 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 work, kid activity, RV, work, kid activity, RV. And it gave us a chance to just get out somewhere and just be pretty still, just even if just for a weekend. So it was great. It was
Nice.
great. So now we're back, back into the mode of, all right, we have a ton of stuff to do on the house now, like lots of stuff to pack, lots of stuff to move, just to get ready for the renters and get ourselves moved out. So it feels pretty good to kind of have the major, things checked off on the RV. And now, okay, let's turn our attention back to the house and get it ready to get moved out of, because we leave on May 31st, but ideally the plan could be like, do we just start if basically living in the RV in the driveway, on the 24th or so that then we get this completely cleaned, everything's moved out, everything's staged, ready to go. You know what I mean? So that
Hmm.
the last few days aren't some scramble to make sure that everything is the way it ought to be. So that's where whew, that's where we're at on all of that. Yeah, just feeling very big.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
was
that's
pretty impressed by like there's one post on the Instagram account with like basically a timeline of like your renovation progress
oh
of just
yeah.
15 photos or so, and I'm
Yeah.
impressed by how many things you changed and like how much nicer it looks towards the
Yeah.
end compared
Yeah.
to the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, we've renovated pretty much all of it. But I mean, because dude, I don't gosh, I just don't know what, you know, RV manufacturers and travel trailer manufacturers, they're all just designed by the same person, I think, who
Hmm.
really, really loves dark, dark wood and dark brown wallpaper
Hmm.
and chocolate colored leather, gigantotron couches. So anyway, so if we were gonna be living in it for 14 months, we wanted it to feel a little bit more like a home. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've fully fully renovated it. I'll at some point. I keep saying this, but I really will. I'll give a walking tour and throw it up online somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's all feeling great. Um, I definitely feel a mix of, excitement because it's going to be such a great adventure, but just, you know, quite a lot of sadness about leaving friends, all the things we're going to miss out on, over this next period of time. I just love it here so, so much. And so as excited as I am about the trip, I am just like, you know, the the realization of not seeing my friends here, for a long time
Hmm.
it's sad.
Yeah.
It genuinely makes me very sad. So, um, yeah, just a complicated mix there, but anyway, it's getting real, bearing down. But so, um, on the work side of things, this couple the other two major projects have wrapped up. I've got another, jobs to be done interview project that's currently in progress. I should wrap it up by the end of this week. And I'm feeling so much like inspiration and momentum towards giving some serious thought to how to productize it. Um that yeah, I'm what I noticed over the past week or two is that I've mentioned this plenty of times here, that the I feel I feel over the burnout. I'm starting to feel like some energy, motivation. And what I noticed is, okay, I've stopped listening when I have some podcast time. I don't so much listen to Board Game Design Lab anymore, which is like a board game designers podcast.
Mhm.
And I'm like going back to Startups for the Rest of Us. And listening to, catching up on those episodes is like, I'm the SaaS entrepreneur thing is switching back on because I'm listening to
Mhm.
Rob Walling and not board game designers. So I registered a domain, which is the first step uh, in beginning any soon to be abandoned project, as we all know. Um, but but no, in all seriousness, it feels like, okay, what the next step I need to take here would be this little hacked together Rails app that I've been using on these projects, and turn and get introduce one level of abstraction so that I could just use it as a consumer. And I think I'll kind of just start to sort of poke away at that over the next several weeks. Um, and we'll see. The So I'm curious what you think on this, because here's where my head is at, is that the so what these all of these clients have done is to hire me to conduct like 8 to 12 interviews with their customers, and we pull out all, like, just a list of like 150 like qualitative insights of all the things that they're trying to get done, underneath their all encompassing job to be done. Like, what are all the little steps and challenges and struggles they come up along the way? I run those interviews, get all those insights, and then work with the team to say, okay, let's prioritize them. Which of these are in your wheelhouse? Do you have domain expertise on? Which of these just are not in your wheelhouse, so we can eliminate them? Let's prioritize this down to like 25 to 40 or so statements, and
Mhm.
then we design a survey around it and spit that and send that survey out to a larger group of people, ideally 100 up to 400. And then all of that data comes back, and boom, uh, you have actionable insights for your product team or whatever to start working on. Okay, so
Mhm.
on the one hand, it is very specific and like boom, boom, boom. Like, I could build a Rails app out of it, or build any application out of this. It does some really cool like cluster analysis behind the scenes with R. It does some great stuff, and every single client is finding value in it. So, 2 thumbs up there. The downside is that you kind of like, the reason they hire me as on the consulting side is to provide the education on, here is how you do this process. So,
Yeah.
is it too niche? Is it too, process consulting oriented, where you also have to educate them? And so there's probably not like a turnkey, type of solution here for somebody. What's your gut?
I think we probably talked about this in the last couple of episodes when we were discussing this, but like, I think this is really more of a productized consulting thing than it is a product thing. Because
Okay.
I think one thing that makes that's one thing we struggle with user lists is that, like, when you sign up, you're basically signing up for more work.
Yes.
Instead of signing up
Yeah.
and then like having less work or one thing less to worry about. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
user list is intended to be, yes, so you do have to do some work, like get it set up and stuff like that, and then you like it does stuff for you. But there's still this bump,
Yeah.
and I think like in this particular case with what you're describing, sounds like they're basically just signing up for more work.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
um, they might have a tool, but they still need to do the interviews. They still have to figure out what are the survey questions. They still have to send out the survey questions to like 400 people, and then they have to
Yeah.
kind of curate the answers and pull information out of it. And while this tool probably makes it easier, it feels like it's still a lot of work they are signing up for, especially if they're new to the entire thing and like not already domain experts or like JTBD experts that are doing this every day and are like, okay, I just want a quicker way to do the thing I'm always doing manually or in a spreadsheet or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
So I guess like if you want to build a software like a SaaS tool, you probably have to target it to experienced people. And if you want to
Mhm.
build if you want to build something for like people new to it, you should probably just go on with the productized service idea.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. How would you, um how would you imagine positioning it similar to Moz, where it's like with Moz, um, it's not so yes, when even after you sign up, there's still a ton of work to be done. You still have to do you're going to be writing content. So you might as so do it in a way that is focused and smart. And with this, the idea is that you're always going to be doing customer research. You should be doing customer research. You're not signing yourself up to do more customer research when you sign yourself up for this service. You're signing up for a tool that helps you do it in an opinionated way, in the way that Moz says, eh, tons of opinions on SEO. You need to be doing this. You're going to be writing content, or you should be anyway. Be sure that you do it in a way that gives you a higher chance of success. If I position it in that way to you, how does that sound?
Well, then I guess then you're competing with whatever they're using now and competing with other tools to achieve this.
Yep.
Where it sounds like the people you've been working with are basically just getting started with all of this. At least that's what the impression I got from what you
Yeah.
told
Yes,
me.
you're
It's
totally
like
right. Yep.
you're competing with doing nothing and competing with getting started and not like with a spreadsheet or whatever or an existing process.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're basically helping them to get started, and then maybe down the road they need a tool like this. But I think to get started, it's probably not the thing they will be looking for.
Well, so in each of these cases, they were all this is not the first customer research any of them have done. They all do
Mm-hmm.
customer research. They've all done interviews. The tools I'm competing with are Google Docs, like
Mm.
just a long, just a folder full of notes. And then what? Like we throw it all onto some post-its and
Mm-hmm.
shift it around and start throwing darts at it, and uh, most opinionated, persuasive person's idea wins. Like that's what I'm competing against
Mm-hmm.
in that sense. Like, but this is really helpful in that you're like the people to the market to focus on is not teams that are new to customer research, but teams that are doing unstructured customer research. And here is a way to streamline it even more. I mean, one of the new tiny seed companies is Aurelius. If have you looked at that tool at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, basically, they're just it's well, to me, it looks like a much better way to record your customer research notes than Google Docs, like by far, because it's very focused and it gives you these like additional things. It's still all qualitative, um, and I would be trying to show teams, yes, your qualitative research is great. If you would like to take it, you want to take it to an additional level, then get all those insights from your qualitative research. It will make your product better for sure. Now, even better and even more focused and reducing even more iterations is to add a quantitative layer on top of that. And here's how you do it. And this tool will do the analysis for you afterwards as well.
Yeah.
you're, you're still skeptical, which I really
Yeah.
like and appreciate.
I'm still a bit skeptical.
Because
Hard to put into words, to be honest.
mhm,
Maybe it's
mhm.
just because it's unexpected. Like I wasn't expecting you to go down that route. Um, like just like in terms of even thinking about building another software product. Like up until like 10 minutes ago, it sounded like you're more thinking about doing like a productized service. So I'm kind of surprised that you're actually thinking about a software tool. Um,
Mhm. Yep.
and then I'm wondering like if you're
Yep.
just like jumping, like getting ahead of yourself basically, a little bit with this,
Mhm.
because I'm not sure you have a addressable market defined just yet. I mean, you have a rough idea, but like so it like the customers you already have, like with this or that the work that you did sounded like they're coming to you for other reasons. Like they're coming for you for the expertise, and
Yeah.
they will not get
Yes.
the expertise with just a software tool.
Yeah.
And then I'm wondering,
Which is
like,
true. Which is true.
is this even the thing? Like, there are probably people out there that want to use a tool like this, but I think you haven't been in touch with them yet.
Yeah. Yes. Like, are there enough of them? Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. This is good. I'm definitely getting out ahead of myself, a which is not uncommon.
Yeah, same thing happened. Like, I'm sitting here sounding all wise,
Okay.
but I mean, this stuff happens to me all the time as well.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, I
Um,
could be entirely
so
wrong, but it's just
well, me too. I mean,
my
that's the
gut
whole
reaction on this.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it'd be much better for me to 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 define to get a tighter hypothesis around who I think my addressable market is.
Yeah,
See if there is demand from customer research teams who want a bit more structure to
yeah,
their process and who don't need my expertise in this. They have internal expertise. They have people who have been doing UX research for a decade.
yeah.
But they just want a better way to do it.
Hmm. I mean,
It does seem to me like there are a lot of teams that
yeah,
describes. That's a lot of teams who are just throwing all of their research into a Google Doc. I mean, that's why Enjoy HQ got traction. That's what Aurelius tries to solve.
yeah.
But
Like,
maybe I'm so go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I'm as I said, I don't think it's wrong, but I'm not entirely sure you've got enough insight yet to like
Mm-hmm.
what they're actually using right now and what the actual problems are. I mean, maybe I don't well, I haven't been in touch
Yeah.
with them either, so I don't really
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But
I'm
like
gonna do some thinking around this. Go ahead.
one more thing that I was just thinking about is we talked about when you're consulting contracts and that you consider it like basically selling them the tool or
Yep.
like whatever you had to like did you try that? Because it sounds like if you want to kind of start to validate this idea, you should probably just see if those customers
Y-
are willing to
totally.
pay for a tool like this.
So one of the customers, I didn't realize that I actually included in my initial proposal to them that you will uh, get a self-hostable version of the output. Like totally forgot that I had even put that in the proposal. So
Hmm.
I basically had to just provide it to them, or got to provide it to them. Didn't have to do anything. Got to. I was
Hmm.
more than happy to do that work for them. Now, so Lego, I have not pitched to them on like ongoing hosting for it. Partially around just like the relational part of it for me. Like, I kind of don't want to test anything on that account,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Um, and
Don't screw it
so,
up.
yeah, yeah. And so the project I've got currently, and then another one that I've got a proposal out for would be the ones where I will uh, we'll pitch that piece.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a good step towards like getting some clarity on this.
yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Okay. This is really good. This is super helpful. I think I'm going to also reach out to, I just thought of somebody who I know who recently started a new position specifically around doing jobs to be done research work. Like that's their primary role. So I'm going to reach out to them and just see if I can get them on the phone.
Are there
I'll let you
are
know.
there any tools specifically for jobs to be done interviews out there, like or just jobs to be done process to manage that?
Tools, none that I know of. It's all like books and posts and courses, etc. So no tools yet that streamline the process for you.
Yeah, maybe there's
Which either
something
means
there.
there's no
Yeah.
demand, or it means that there's an opportunity because the market is now maturing to the point where
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Because people are hacking it together right now with
Mm-hmm.
Word docs and spreadsheets and
Yeah.
Trello boards.
Yeah. I mean, like thinking back, like Jane did a bunch of this stuff
Huh?
last year, like just like interviewing people, and it was like it's a complicated process in a way. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to like just come up with a set of questions you want to get answers to, and then you do those interviews. You either like need a good way to type notes or write down notes, and then what we also did is like get transcriptions of the
Yep.
recordings, and so
Yep.
there's a lot of steps involved. And yeah, like if you do a lot of those, maybe getting a tool that like combines all of this, just like, because in the end you just end up with a Google Drive folder with a lot of files in there which are like
Yes.
not properly linked together and
Yep.
needs management. And then if you forget to upload the recording or whatever, and yeah, maybe there's something there for like just have a tool that like bundles that all together.
So that what you're describing there is Aurelius.
Okay.
I mean, it takes that process of let's get people on, take a bunch of notes, and then try to analyze it. Like Aurelius adds so many features to that process, and I've not used it, but I'm going to assume that they do it quite well.
Mm-hmm.
For what appear to be validation reasons.
Yeah.
And so that addresses one piece of the market. There's another piece of it that my hypothesis is wants even more streamlined even more streamlined workflow with an even more opinionated analysis on the other end. So okay, that's where all of that is at.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your eyes out. Maybe I should just throw up like I'll talk to some folks. What else? Okay, then on the board game side of things, Graham's back from vacation. He was out for a couple of weeks. And the timing was actually pretty nice on that. Allowed me to put that on the back burner, focus on some work stuff, focus on year on the road stuff. But now he's back, and so we're trying to accelerate some conversation with an artist that we found who we want to do some just conceptual work, some samples of some cards and some terrain tiles and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really exciting. He there's also, so he lives in Golden, Colorado, which is about 25 minutes from Boulder. And downtown, this board game cafe just opened up, and it looks so cool. It's one of the things I'm actually kind of sad about leaving because I'm like not even going to get a chance to duck in and check it out. It looks so great. So Graham went in and introduced himself and told them about our game, and And they were like, "This is amazing. This is perfect. Yes, like let's set up some times, for you to come in and do some teach-alongs and do some play testing. Once Graham's vaccinated, so Graham is already vaccinated, and as more people get vaccinated, for people to come in and sit down and do in-person play tests. And we're thinking about maybe even just printing off an additional copy of the game for that shop.
Nice.
So cool. Oh, just the coolest. So I can't wait for that to really get rolling. So
that sounds like a
been
good, like, I mean, I probably will not work, but sounds like a good marketing strategy. Like, just like print a couple exclusive editions for like venues like this, and like if you want to play this, you have to get like go there and make an appointment, kind of, or get an invite and be able to play it.
Yes.
And if you're lucky, you get to, like, if you win, you can buy a copy or something like that.
That might actually be kind of fun for like to make it, a little event, an event out of it. I mean, for the time being, it's amazing because there's going to be like a local connection, and one of our big questions now is, okay, how do we keep getting playtest feedback, and like we couldn't ask for anything better than a super cozy, cool local board game shop where people will be like, "Hey, what can I play? Oh, wow, this is local. Heck yeah, I'll try this." Like, there'll be that element of it, that I think will be really attractive.
Yeah.
To be able to get some serious gamers who won't be intimidated by like a game that has a 4 out of 5 complexity scale.
Yeah.
So anyway, very exciting.
This might actually be a good mark. Like, yeah, just getting off on this like tangent is like, could this be like a marketing strategy of like just sending this board game everywhere, like as like exclusive previews and stuff like that, and have like venues like this play with the customers, and then have like, I don't know, flyers with like the Kickstarter address on it or something like that?
I mean, if we had more resources, potentially.
Yeah.
But right now,
probably not,
because we are such short run, like it costs us $65-$70 per game.
Yeah.
And these and cafes like this one, there's not a shortage of games for people to try out. And where we have an unfair advantage here is that Graham lives in Golden and I live in Boulder.
Yeah.
And so people like, like that'll feel cool, as opposed to, I mean, if we sent this to some board game cafe in St. Louis, people are like, no good. I'm going to play Scythe. So
maybe there's something you can do like one by one. Maybe the owner of this board game cafe has a friend elsewhere with a similar.
Yeah. Yes.
And maybe they can like talk to them and something like that.
Well, I mean, something Graham and I are definitely talking about is, hey, if only one of us were getting ready to be driving around the country for a year and could duck into, every local game store that I come across. So yeah, that'll be part of it when it works out. Sort of try to schedule little events, ahead of time.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I think, that's it for me. You are going to be moving next week, so you will not be recording.
Yeah, I will not be recording. I think my gear will be, I'll probably just move all of my gear over to the new place tomorrow, but I think we'll be so busy, like
you'll be busy
packing last minute stuff and like pulling stuff apart, and so I'll not schedule anything next week.
Well, I will either find a guest, do a solo show, or also take the week off, because there's no shortage of to-dos on my side as well. So listener, you may hear from us or from me next week, but maybe not. So Benedikt, I'll see you in 2 weeks, man. Good luck with the move.
Thanks. See you. Bye.
Later.